Here we are, October Red. I am joined by Ant Crolla,
Yes.
former champion, to lovely trainer.
Thank you.
We've got the lovely Rhiannon Dixon this weekend.
Yeah.
Talk to us about young Rhiannon and her journey so far.
It's an amazing journey. I think you're with there. It's well documented now. The girl who didn't have any amateur fights, she had a handful of fights on the white collar scene in nightclubs and stuff like that, to now be world champion. And obviously she's in a mega fight this weekend against a former 2-weight world champion in Terri Harper. It's something I'm really looking forward to, something she's really looking forward to. And she can go out there and make a statement, really put a name amongst some of the biggest fights in female boxing.
You know, when you have a fighter and obviously you develop them,
yeah.
Did you see her getting this far so quickly? Do you remember when she started, it was like, the fights kept being pulled up and it was like, stop.
I genuinely thought she had a world title in her, but it was the rate she was improving where I did believe it. Yeah, like at the start, it would have been a bit of a mad thing to say, but I knew she was, like I said, she was a rough diamond and she just needed polishing. And that was it. She's a fantastic athlete, and the improvement in her from winning the title to now shows that on Saturday night she's going to look very good.
The opponent then, Terri Harper. Terri Harper, I think her last fight was Sandy Ryan.
Yeah.
Fights in New York this weekend against Michaela Mayer.
Of course, yeah.
Levels, tests. Rhiannon ready for this?
Without a shadow of a doubt, yeah. It's a fight that we've always talked about, what we believed would happen then, but it didn't look like it when Terri went up 3 or 4 weights. And I do believe, listen, she went up, and I can only respect that for the opportunity. She had the height to carry it up. But yeah, she, was on about, what was she on about then? Yeah, basically, I think she's more than ready for the opportunity. I mean, listen, when you say opportunity, it's Rhiannon giving Terri the opportunity because she's the champion. But also, like I said on there, and it's not being in any way disrespectful to Terri Harper, but I think this is a great kind of profile fight for Rhiannon because she goes in there and does the job that we believe she can do. It puts her amongst those big names for the huge fights in female boxing.
We talk about putting her in there with those names. When we look at like Terri Harper's career, because obviously you've got to look at your opponent as well.
Yeah.
What is Rhiannon looking to take away from Terri? Because we can look at vulnerabilities.
You can look at vulnerabilities, but listen, we're not just looking at that. We're not just looking at me believing when Rhiannon lands the reaction. I'm not just looking at that. Terri, when she gets into a rhythm, she can be hard to get out of that rhythm. She's very good technically. She's been well coached for years. She's from a very good stable, so we respect that. But it's. When she has got beat, she's lost to some of the biggest names in the sport, do you know what I mean, in the female side of the sport. But she's, like you say, it's a good time or a bad time to get her after her last performance. I don't know. All will be revealed on Saturday night.
What is going to be next? You're a manager as well, aren't you?
I don't manage. No, I'm manager. That's just over your shoulder now already. But yeah.
Right. Okay.
But no, listen. First of all, Saturday night, get a good win. Then after that, we shall see. We start looking at trying to maybe unify the division or something like that. But yeah, like I say, she's still learning, but she's learning at a fantastic rate.
Caroline Dubois was a name that was thrown into the mix. Now, forgive me if they're not at the same weight anymore, because I know people move up and down.
No, they are. Yeah, they are.
Okay. So, obviously, we're not overlooking Terri.
No, absolutely
not.
As a coach, crazy
when you look at potential fights for her.
That's certainly one of them, and Caroline we've been very impressed with so far. I think it's hard not to be impressed by her. I think situation at the minute, I think she's interim champion, but it looks likely she will be upgraded,
elevated
to full world champion. But that's potentially a massive fight down the line. I know Caroline spoke about wanting it, Rhiannon has as well, so that's a big one. But first and foremost, come through Terri on Saturday night.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. I've got to ask your opinion on, obviously, the weekend just gone.
Yeah.
You as an ex-fighter, and I get it, everyone's going to say, everyone's over-analysing Anthony Joshua, but I'm sorry, but he's a former two-time world champion. We like to look at fighters, and we like to see when they're at their good points. We like to understand why they slip up as well. So I need your opinion as a fighter. I know you're not Anthony Joshua. I know you're not part of his team. But when you look at him now, and that fight night, what do you see, Ant?
As in the performance, or what do I... Well, listen, I think what happened, I think one of the very first shots Dubois landed hurt Anthony Joshua, and I think a bit of pride coming to it, you know, a bit of pride coming to it. And listen, I don't, it's mad really, because boxing's one of those mad sports. Like, it was only a week ago that, you know, Ben Davison and the team there was being hailed as, you know, the next sort of greatest thing and what they've done for Anthony Joshua. And, you know, nothing against Ben and the team down there. They get some fantastic results with the lads who've done there, and they've achieved great things. But I think what was overlooked, and I said it in a few interviews, he boxed Otto Welling and he boxed an MMA fighter. You've got to take that into consideration. Not even hindsight, because I was saying it before it. And Daniel Dubois had boxed Usyk, he'd boxed Jarrell Miller, he boxed Sergovic, and he'd come through. And I thought in the Usyk fight, I thought he didn't get nowhere near the credit that was due. I thought he had moments in the Usyk fight, and I just thought it was mad that everyone was. Even though I thought AJ, I picked AJ, but I said I wouldn't be one bit surprised if Dubois, if he comes through that first 3-4 rounds, he's got an unbelievable chance of winning it. And I know that prediction didn't really come into place because, being honest, Daniel Dubois dominated the fight. Other than the 5 seconds leading up to the knockout, 5-10 seconds, AJ wasn't in that fight, we've got to be honest. And for me, it wasn't the nicest watch. I like AJ, I think nearly everyone loves AJ. That wasn't a nice watch. He took a lot of big shots throughout, and yeah, it was hard to see.
What do you think happened though? I know you said he got caught.
I think he got caught early on before the first knockdown. The first knockdown was it was a bomb, wasn't it? Sorry. Yeah. Feel so much right, man. He never recovered.
It's not your team.
Yeah, he never recovered from that first knockdown, and I think after that, it was one of them where it was big shot after big shot. And I think AJ, even like, you know, the beating of the chest when he was up and stuff like that, he was probably a little bit concussed, didn't know where he really was. And it was an hard watch for me. And that's what I think anyone who cares about Anthony Joshua will say the same thing.
So what do you think? All right, then, if he was yours, and like I said, it's up to him. He's a fighter, isn't he?
Of course he is.
True fighters, they never want to give up. They never want to hang up the gloves. We saw him climb off the floor how many times?
Yeah, and
he's not a quitter.
Listen, he's got a huge heart. I think he's shown that, and I know Eddie Hearn was very vocal on that. You know, the set of nuts he's shown was huge. But you've also got to think now, what happens now listen, it's hard, you know, because AJ is, you know, fantastic athlete. Can he come back, still beat some of the big fighters in the heavyweight division? Yeah, I believe he can, but after that first fight with Dubois, it was a one-sided fight. We can't pretend it was anything other than that. It was a bit of and I don't want to sound disrespectful saying this, it was a beat down, it was a beating. Let's not pretend it was back and forth. It wasn't, other than the 5-10 seconds leading up to the knockout where you thought, oh my God, has AJ actually turned it round? There was nothing else that seen it, and Daniel probably had his legs under him a bit more than what we thought at the time when you watch it back. And it's just a decision now you've had an unbelievable career. You're a 2-weight world champion. You've done more for British boxing than ever gets given credit for. And he's had one of the biggest impacts in British boxing history. I'm not speaking out of turn, you know, with the stadiums, inspiring a generation. You know, even like the team down at GB, what he's done and what he does away from the camera as well, which doesn't really get, you know, the credit it should do. And for me, if you're someone close to him, do you go, listen, you've done unbelievable, you've had a career people can only dream of. Do you just sail off now into the sunset? But I think when there's the amount of money that's getting thrown around, is that a danger though? Do you know what I mean? That's just me being honest. And does AJ and Tyson Fury still do massive numbers? Of course it does. Does it now have the same demand around the world? No, it doesn't. Let's tell the truth, you know. But if they still fight, it still sells out any stadium. And that's the problem. So that's when, does money become the issue? Do you know what I mean? Does money become the issue? Well, do I say an issue or the reason? Yeah, issue, reason. It probably is that, yeah.
You know what I will say, and I've got a shout out to, I think it's Josh Hart on Seconds Out. He interviewed Colin Hart, renowned, obviously journalist, been in the sport for 65 years, and he picked up on something extremely key. He was saying about retirement. He said, look, Muhammad Ali should have stopped years ago.
Absolutely.
They kept on making him fights,
Mate.
and look how he ended up. That stuck with me. So it's
but do you know the next day? I thought it was upsetting. Do you know the next day when he done that post? He done a post, and I thought, do you know what? Anthony Joshua must have been hurting inside, and he's been told to put that post out. He's been told to put that post out, and he spoke brilliantly. I was just, AJ's a promoter's dream. He's an ambassador's dream. Sponsorship. He's a big, beautiful man. He speaks brilliant. Of course he does. But anyone who knows boxing knows he didn't need to be doing that there. Do you know what I mean? Just let him have a moment away with his loved ones, with the people around him who care. But he's at that, and people go, that's it, he's carrying on. It's just like, for me, it didn't need to happen, but we'll see.
But then, how do you deal with that, though, as the ambassador, as the guy out there?
It's probably hard because he might have obligations to do, and that is possibly it, so it's there, but that's just sort of the side of the sport. But I felt sorry from watching it, how we kept it together. It shows a huge person to do that, but I thought that must have been so hard for him. Let's be honest, it really inside, he must have been hurting so much.
I said the same thing because I said he was so positive. It was almost fake, because it's like, I would have been, listen, but I'm not him.
No, totally. And that's not calling him. That's not calling him. It takes a huge person to do what he's done. But yeah, it was, like I say, big person to do it, but you felt for him massively.
Game plan? What do you think his game plan was?
Do you know what? And again, and that's with the game plan. Listen, do I believe Anthony Joshua's game plan was to come out with a low lead and knowing that Daniel Dubois got a fantastic right hand? No, I don't. Do I believe that obviously he should have come out a little bit more correct with someone who carries the power of Daniel Dubois, look to establish his jab? Yeah, I do. But I believe the power of Daniel Dubois did shock AJ. I did, and it took it out of him. Like I said, I don't believe he ever fully recovered from the first knockdown. So game plans go out the window. What did he say? When someone gets punched in the face with Mike Tyson, your game plan goes out the window.
So Daniel Dubois, credit to him.
Massive credit to Daniel Dubois. That's it. We're not speaking about Daniel Dubois. He was fantastic. He was brilliant. The team, massive credit to him and his team. He went in there, and it wasn't too long ago everyone was calling him a quitter. So every credit to Daniel Dubois. You got to put some respect on his name, and on his name, haven't we?
But Ant, you know what the rumours are? They say once a quitter, always a quitter, don't they?
Yeah, that's it. And listen, I think a lot of it with the Joe Joyce one. I get it. It was, listen, a lot of fighters wouldn't. They go out on the shield. He didn't. But do you know what he has done? He's ticked boxes since. And I knew the night he come through Jarrell Miller, when he had plenty of chances to quit, I knew he turned a massive corner.
All right. So it just goes to show that just because somebody throws mud on you or tries to label you with something, you can actually push through and overcome that.
Yes, absolutely. Of course, everyone can come back, can't they? And I know there is saying, Leopard never changes his spots, but I believe, like I say, those fights he had, he's come through adversity, and it's people say you can't train heart, but I believe that Arf did train his heart.
I love it. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Always.
So good to speak to you.
Always.
All the best to your brother when he's out as well.
Yes, October, the Catch Up Pro Games card. He looks well, but he's here Saturday, watching Rhiannon.
All right then, thank you so much for your time, and all the best to Rhiannon on Saturday as well.
Look forward to it.
People say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.